On the news tonight, Senate to expose the banks used for MMM fraud. 2 camel pilgrims die in Saudi Arabia. And also Lassa fever spreads to 19 states. And out of foreign news tonight, Israeli jets hit Messiah's chemical site. And to the world of sports, South Africa consider FIFA replay appeal. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News Tonight. I am Mudupe Shirimeko. Thanks for joining us. The Senate on Thursday vowed to expose all commercial banks in the country used by a discredited Ponzi scheme, popularly called Mavrodi Mundara Movement, MMM. The upper chamber said the exposure of the banks used for MMM became necessary so that the affected banks would face appropriate sanctions. The Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Information and Communication Technology, ICT and Cybercrime, Foster Ogola, stated this during an interactive session with bank executives on cybercrime. According to him, exposing the banks used for the deal would help to prevent such fraud in future. He also said the Senate will come up with a legislation making digital education compulsory in both primary and secondary schools in Nigeria. A legal luminary and frontline politician in Osun State, Kunle Adegoke, is advocating devolution of powers as the answer to clamor for restructuring. Adegoke was speaking in Osogbo in an interview with Mitv crew after featuring on the maiden edition of Guest of the Month organized by the Osun State Council of Nigerian Union of Journalists. Correspondent Abbas Okondeji reports that the legal luminary camp politician described the Nigerian Constitution as very archaic and should be reviewed with immediate effect.
And even the concurrents that don't have to be there, that should strictly go to the states. So in terms of devolution of powers, it is necessary to devolve more powers to the states. In the days of the regions, when they had better control of their resources, we had better development, we had greater developments. And that was why the late stage and all the others were able to achieve all those things that they achieved in those days. They were governing bigger spaces and probably more people than what each state contains today. But they were able to achieve more. The implication is that if we devolve more powers
on the fight against corruption, Adegoke implored Nigerians to support the government in fighting the menace. He also suggested that corruption in the bar and the bench must not be only investigated, but followed up with prosecution.
The people that are prosecuting these cases, what are they presenting before the courts as well? It's not all judges that are corrupt. We know of judges that when any case comes before them, they will look at it critically and dispassionately. In many cases, you find prosecutors destroying the cases themselves. The cases will lack all elements by which the person could be convicted. At the end of the day, he will escape. Then some of our laws are moribund. Some of our laws are moribund. A law that says that where somebody has embezzled a huge amount of money, he should be given a fine not exceeding 100,000 naira.
Reactions have continued to thrill the adoption of the Ekiti State Deputy Governor, Professor Kolakmo Olushola, by stakeholders in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state as the party's preferred aspirant for the 2018 governorship election. The adoption of the Deputy Governor was the major decision reached at the party's stakeholders towards the December 2017 local government election and the 2018 governorship election held on Wednesday in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital. Among those opposing the adoption were the Senate Deputy Minority Whip, Senator Abiodun Olujimi, and the two-time past Commissioner for Justice, Owosheni Ajayi. Senator Olujimi noted that the gathering, which was held inside the government house to impose Governor Fayoshe's preferred aspirant as the sole candidate for PDP in the Ekiti State, is against the reconciliation move set up by the national body to strengthen the party towards future elections.
Was a candidate towards primaries. We have got to contest the primaries, and it will be conducted by INEC. PDP will sit by, INEC will conduct it. So nobody can be imposed. It has to do with the amount of work you can do, how convincing you are. If you can tell people that you are not a puppet and you won't be an ordinary cashier, and you must be able to tell people that you have the capacity to do it, you have the experience, you have the love of the people, you have been in this, because experience counts. You must be experienced in politicking before you can win the primary.
Was not called for that purpose. It was not called for the purpose of discussing the issue of gubernatorial election for 2018. It was called for the purpose of a retreat with the consultant engaged by the governor in respect of local government election and 2018 election. So that particular aspect of adopting somebody as a gubernatorial was smuggled in, unknown to the people that were there. It's natural for our governor to say, I want to prefer this candidate to this candidate. It is natural right under the Constitution. He has the right to do that. So we cannot, but he should be democratic with it.
Meanwhile, the Publicity Secretary of the National Caretaker Committee of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Dayo Adeyeye, has resigned his appointment as the Chairman, Governing Council of the Ekiti State University at Ekiti. This is as the Ekiti State government accepted the resignation, and consequently, the state's governor, Ayodele Fayoje, approved the appointment of Dele Adesina San as the new chairman of the University Governing Council of the State University. Adeye's resignation is coming barely 24 hours from the adoption of the state deputy governor, Professor Kolakbo Olushola, as the state PDP preferred aspirant by the party stakeholders for 2018 governorship election, in which Dayo Adeyeye is also aspiring to contest. In a statement signed by the secretary to the state government, Dr. Ms. Modupe Alade, the state government thanked Adeyeye for his contributions to the university and wished him well in his future endeavors. Going further, the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board said on Thursday that 2 pilgrims from the state have died during the 2017 Hajj in Saudi Arabia. The board's public relations officer, Alhaji Nuh Badamasi, on telephone from Makkah said that the deceased, who were males, died in Makkah after performing their Hajj rites at the Arafat. Badamasi said the deceased, who were from Dala and Dongoua local government areas, has since been buried in Makkah in accordance with the Islamic rites. And preparations for the transportation of the state pilgrims back to Nigeria, Badamasi said the exercise will commence on September 15. He said most of the pilgrims had visited Medina, while the few that had not were not preparing to go from Makkah. No fewer than 5,500 pilgrims from the state performed the Hajj. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on Thursday confirmed at least 1 reported Lassa fever case in each of 19 states in the current outbreak, which started in December 2016. The development was published in a report on NCDC's website. The 19 states are Ogun, Bauchi, Plateau, Ebonyi, Ondo, Edo, Taraba, Nasarawa, Rivers, Kaduna, Gombe, Cross River, Borno, Kano, and Kogi, Enugu, Anambra, Kwara, and Lagos. The report said the outbreak was active in Ondo, Edo, Plateau, Bauchi, Ogun, Kaduna, Kwara, and Lagos states. The report said that since the onset of the outbreak in December 2016, a total of 263 cases had been classified, 249 confirmed, and 85 deaths recorded. The report also said 1 new suspected case was reported in Plateau. 2 new confirmed cases were reported in Edo, but no deaths recorded within the week. The federal government has stated that it will rely on the recommendations in reviewing and initiating robust policies aimed at increasing the contribution of mining sector to the nation's economy. Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Honorable Bawa Buhari disclosed this on Thursday at a press conference held in Abuja. He said the aim of the ministry relying on those recommendations is to have complete ideas on contributions from those involved in the mining value chain and for it to be at the disposal of the ministry. Buhari further added that the views of such diverse experts will enable the ministry to fully exploit the potentials of the sector for revenue generation, job creation, and sustainable mining practices.
They rely heavily on the recommendation of the Council in reviewing or initiating robust policies that will increase the contribution of the mining sector to the nation's economy. After the ministry's roadmap was approved by the Federal Executive Council in August last year, we determined that only through collaboration, inclusion, and broad-based participation of all stakeholders can we hope to achieve the laudable plans of this administration for this sector.
The maiden edition of the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development is scheduled to hold on the 12th to 14th September 2017 with the theme Enhancing Mineral Resource Governance towards Economic Growth and Diversification. The National Association of Resident Doctors on Thursday refused to call off its strikes despite holding a 13-hour meeting with representatives of the federal government. However, the strike is already taking its toll on medical care delivery as the University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, as many patients are languishing in pains while others are being taken away to other medical facilities. Mitv correspondent Anuluapo Morida monitored activities at the teaching hospital and files in this report.
The strike embarked upon by the National Association of Resident Doctors is already taking its toll on medical care delivery at the University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, as there were not enough medical personnel to attend to patients who were in search of medical attention in the hospital when Mitv News visited. Although the Chief Medical Director of the foremost medical institution in the country, Professor Temitope Alonge, regretted the action of the resident doctors, but he added that it is an issue for the federal government.
We had a 4-hour board round yesterday. That's the hospital management team comprising of myself, the CMAC, Deputy CMAC, and the administrators, just to have a look around the emergency points, including the intensive care unit emergency department, just to make sure that things are in order. When I mean in order, I mean that patients who come in with emergencies that require surgery have been attended to. We had
resident doctors in the hospital has, however, said the commencement of the strike was in compliance with the directives of the umbrella body of the association in Abuja.
Resident doctors throughout the Federation have not been paid pension. There's a pension act that states that the employer pay a part in saving for the employee, and the employee also pay a part, so that at the end of the working years, the employee will have access to those funds. For the past 4 years, resident doctors have not been paid their pension by the federal government.
Patients, their relatives, and those who visited the hospital for medical attention appealed to the federal government to find a lasting solution to the ongoing strike. In Ibadan, Hanuluakpo Morinde, Mitv News.
As the strike by resident doctors nationwide enters the 3rd day, doctors at Federal Medical Center, FMC, Idiaba, Abeokuta, have urged the federal government to incorporate the body under the Integrated Payroll Payment System, IPPS. A visit by our Ogun State correspondent Mutila Adeyemo revealed that some of the patients were not being attended to by medical consultants. Speaking with newsmen, the president of the Association of Resident Doctors, FMC, Idiaba chapter, Dr. Taiwo Babajide, says they would follow the national directive to the letter.
Federal government has failed to put on an eyepiece. They have failed to pay the counterpart funding for our IP, for our pensions. We have never said we don't want to join, we don't want to be on eyepiece. If we are on eyepiece, that means there will be equity for all. When there is a shortfall everywhere, there will be a shortfall everywhere. Not that you pay eyepiece all their money, then you tell us don't give me that there is shortfall. So residents are not saying they don't want to be on eyepiece. Residents are saying we want to be on eyepiece.
The medical director of the center, Professor Adewale Abdulsamiu Musa, says the hospital is coping with the absence and stressing that consultants and NYS doctors are on ground to attend to the patients. He appealed to the doctors to come back to work and save the lives of patients waiting for treatment.
It's a community session, and I think the resident doctors should think twice. They should try as much as possible to find a common place to meet with the federal government and come back to work quickly. We are missing them, there's no doubt about that, and they are quite important. And I feel that they should come around, be reasonable with their demands. Definitely, I know that this the federal government is up to the task, and we listen to them. They have listening ears, and they will definitely, listen to what they are asking for, and it will be executed. But it will be unfair if we kill patients before they come back. So we don't want any patient to die. So they are important, and I quite appreciate what they are asking for, and government will definitely listen to them.
As the 2017-2018 academic calendar is about to take off in Lagos State, the state government says there is need for school administrators to do more on security and safety measures. This comes as the State Ministry of Education on Thursday organized a one-day workshop among public school principals, vice principals and other stakeholders in the educational sector held at Adeyemo Auditorium in Alausa Secretariat, Ikeja, the state capital. The Deputy Governor of the state, Dr. Idiat Adebuwe, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Adeshino Odeyemi, said the state government has demolished all the kidnapping hideouts, numbering over 200. This, is said, became necessary following the Igbola kidnap that shook the entire nation. Other educationists also bear their minds on the security and safety measures.
I expect that our principals and vice principals, even the house administrators, house masters, will be quite knowledgeable now as to what to do to ensure that there's a lot of safety in our schools. Government can sit there and, of course, by so doing, can view the entire school compound of the school to ensure that if anything is happening somewhere, they can quickly cite it. And we also have installed, we have improved on the gate to the schools, even to the dormitories.
Profile everybody that you come across with that will work with you in the school, so that in case there is anything, we'll be able to trace either the address, the phone number, or even with biometrics, so that it's just a precaution for us to be enabled us arrest any perpetrator of any crime. So that is just, if we have the profile, it will even, like I said, it will instill fear into any one of them that should I commit anything, I can easily be traced. That is the essence.
Skill, I recommend the counseling skill. It's giving information, active listening to even children, school children, everybody around. So when they raise alarm about any security issue, then we have to listen to them and discuss issues and put every security gadget in place. So I've provided some other hints on how to secure the various schools. And I talked about the environment, that is not only the school, wars, offenses. When we talk of the environment, everybody, apart from the heredity of the child, happens to come up under the environment.
The national coordinator of the new Nigerian nationalist, Felusha Oyenuga, stood for peace and unity among all Nigerians despite the religious, political and ethnic differences. Felusha, who disclosed this at a parley with the media in Lagos, noted that the current security and other challenges confronting the country will be a thing of the past if all citizens, ethnic nationalities, political parties and religious bodies see Nigeria as one and indivisible entity. She said the strength of Nigeria has always been in their ability as a people to work through the diversity in our culture, languages, religious inclinations, ethnicity, and even status in a society.
Based on the progressive pillars of collective, liberty, equality, and prosperity. And this is captured in the 4 phases of 1. Communication, 2. Mobilization, 3. Education, 4. Participation. We promise to liberate Nigerians from all sorts of bondage and endow them with the freedom to live fulfilled lives socially, economically, politically, spiritually, and mentally.
Restructuring. The question is, what have they been doing in the last 57 years? That it is today that they are talking about restructuring. Whereas we know that there are lots of restructuring to be done in this country today regarding, even there's need for mental restructuring as well. There's need for operational restructuring. There's need for a lot of restructuring. But the truth of the matter is that we must not allow ourselves to be tools and instruments in the hands of political jobbers.
All right, let's take a break. It's the Brampton News tonight. When we come back, 10 killed in Caribbean.